Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the True North Speaker Series. We have the awesome opportunity to bring you a holiday special. We have our guest, Miss Felice McWilliams. And Miss Felice will be talking to us about everything art. She will bring us a unique spin on what art looked like through her eyes, but also share with you an opportunity to look for art and the things how it can look through your eyes. So let's start the show. So welcome, Miss Felice.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you for doing this for us. I'm so excited.
No problem.
You were one of the first people that I thought of when I got this job. And I was like, okay, they said design. They talk about murals and street art and graphics and graffiti. And I said, oh, that's Miss Felice. That's Miss Felice. All day, Miss Felice. So thank you for everything that you've done off gate for River District Association and everything that you're doing in this city. Because I think it's making a difference. So tell me, who is Felice McWilliams?
That's a big question. I mean, just, crazy lady, busy lady, mother, wife, grandma,
Yeah.
city ambassador,
Yeah.
all that, business owner, artist, entrepreneur.
Keep going.
All of that. I don't see it's like so hard. Who am I? Sister, cousin, friend, lover of God and his son, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Worship leader, what? All of that.
So tell us, because that is a great question. How did you end up in Danville?
Oh. Never did I think I'd live in Danville. I didn't even know what Danville, where it was. My son moved here with his wife and my 2 grandchildren at the time. I only had 2 at that time for ministry. He was coming to be a worship leader.
Oh, okay.
And so they left at the middle of 2012. And then I spent the whole year to 2013 missing them. And she was pregnant with their 3rd when they left. So I got sick and could not leave California, couldn't fly because I had pneumonia. And for all that time sick, I just missed them so much, and I would have dreams about being with them. And so I had a dream and told my husband, I want to move to Danville. He said, I just was waiting on you.
Oh, wow.
And he had made up his mind he was going to retire because I was already retired. He was going to retire early and move if I was on board with that. Because I had a big life in California, but I wanted to be a grandmother. That's why I came here.
Oh, look, you talk about retired. I don't know if a lot of people know. I know because I think you told me it was in MBF, but what were you before you retired?
I did accounting.
Nobody is going to believe it. Nobody is going to believe it.
I did all things accounting.
How long did you work in accounting?
Payables, receivables, everything accounting.
For how long?
Once after, all through, once I got out of school, it's how I provided for myself till I got married, and then I, started having babies, and I would be off for a while with my baby, then go back to work through temp agencies doing accounting. I always could get a job because I was good at it.
Yeah.
And I did it for years until I started homeschooling my kids. So it was broke up.
Yeah.
8 years, then off 3, then 2 years, then off 4.
Yeah.
I was on and off with it, but.
How did you live in that space being so artistic like that? You found time, and I'm not going to answer the question for you, but how did you be an account? It's just so different ends of the spectrum.
It was a different era of my life then, because at that time, no one really knew my artistic abilities.
Gotcha.
Because I was raising my 3 sons, and I had a piano at home. I wasn't playing guitar yet. I had a piano, and I would wait for them to go to bed, I'd go to my piano and write a song and put it in the piano bench. I wouldn't even share it with my husband.
Wow.
And so no one really knew about my artistic abilities other than me singing, because I sang in church and I sang with a few groups. And that's what kind of spurred me to doing my own thing, singing with other groups. But moving here is where I really let people know this side of me, the artist.
Thank you. Thank you. So what led you to get so deeply involved in the community work here?
A rock.
Literally.
One little rock is what made me start making Danville smile. And I was out of town in Seattle for my niece's wedding, and it was in February, so it was cold. And we were at the Space Needle, and it's a glass garden there, so beautiful. And my husband, my nephew, and my sister-in-law, they were really being a dud because it was cold. Yes, it was, but we were around great things to explore. You know, I'm like a kid. I'm an adventurer. I want to see these things that I can see. And my husband is afraid of heights, so he didn't want to go in the Space Needle. My sister-in-law was being cheap. She didn't want to pay for the glass garden. So I sat down frustrated with them. I was still smoking cigarettes at that time, and I sat down to light a cigarette. And when I put my purse down, there was a little rock there on the concrete bench, and it said, "Post a picture to Bothell Rocks." And I was like, what is that? And I picked it up, I turned it over, and it was a ladybug. Oh. And so it said, I looked back at the writing, it said, "Post a picture, keep or rehide." So I went right to their Facebook page and took a picture of me holding it because it changed my mood. Finding that I was upset with them, found this little rock, and it really changed my mood. It really did. So I told them that. I was like, I'm all happy. I told my husband, I'm going to the glass garden with or without you. You can meet me out here, whatever. And he decided to come too, but I just kept that rock all the day, and it made me happy. So I told them I'm taking it home to Virginia. And when I got home, I set that rock on my piano, and I would see it going and coming. And I started wanting to do that for people here. So I just started collecting rocks and putting art on them, setting them around town. Didn't know if people were finding them, but I'd go back and the rock would be gone. So then I'm like, I want to know who got it. So somebody told me put a hashtag on it. So I started putting hashtag Felice McWilliams on it. I would check, didn't find any like that either. So then I was advised to start a page.
Gotcha.
So what am I going to call it? What am I doing? So I want to make people smile like it made me smile. So I named it Making Danville Smile. And I got a hit. Somebody posted, "This rock changed my day." She was walking her kids by the river walk, and she was kind of depressed and found that rock and was so excited somebody was doing it here, and it just made me do it more and more, and it turned into way more than I ever thought.
Because I remember I was at the gas station, and I hate to pump gas. I don't think let me just say, I don't think I should have to pump gas. Don't want to get into that whole conversation. And I was walking, and I was like, what is that? And me being the inquisitive person I am, I picked it up, and I was like, what is this? And I had to make Danville smile on there, and I posted a little picture and everything like that. And then full circle, we was in MBF together. And I was like, I got one of your rocks one time.
And that's why I think I was watched for MBF. Because the fellows before us were the ones recruiting people for the next. And like Sheila Baines and Crystal Cobbs, you know, the different people in that class, Jamil, you know, they saw what I was doing with Making Danville Smile and encouraged me to try for MBF. And I did, and I got in, you know, and I think, being a part of that fellowship, meeting you and all the other fellows. I wouldn't trade that for anything because it created a network circle for me that just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. My fellows, you know, originally through them asking you to do this or that, or can you come here or there, and then other people at those places did. Me just being consistent with trying to bless people to do art, you know.
Okay, so tell us, what does community engagement and development mean to you? Because I know you told us a little bit how you got involved with it, and I can see the impact, but why is it triggering for you to get so involved? Because you was like, I know about that. You be the first one to say, I know about that, or let me tell you about such and such. So what makes you so deep dive into that community work?
Because I see the need for people to be involved in things.
Yeah.
You know, I started doing the classes and do a free class for people so they don't have an excuse not to come. Because you can partake of this for free. And I think coming from California, I grew up in Los Angeles and I raised my kids in San Bernardino. Those are big cities. And Danville is a viable city. We have a lot of people here. But it was different. And I saw that the people needed something because so many people I would hear say there's nothing to do here when there's so much to do. They just need to be pushed into looking for the things they like. And so by me sitting out on Main Street on First Fridays or at ballots on First Fridays or going to the festival in the park, anything I could be a vendor at, the children's festival, anything, I was there and show people you can do this. Yes, you think you're not artistic. Yes, you are. And the more I did that, the more people wanted to do. And me just being consistent again, doing that, opened up other avenues for me with other people to branch out and do other things, you know, artistically other than just rocks with people. So I think the community engagement is something that it's important and it's healthy for people to get out of their comfort zone and be with other people, especially after COVID, and do something. Do something different or do something that you like, that you've always done, but just do something. Do something.
Okay, tell us, what is art?
Art is subjective, that's for sure. Art, to me, is anything that makes me happy, right? Because I can look at a plant, at a bug, at a cloud, at a tree, at a baby, at a woman.
True,
you know,
because when we was in Asheville, me and Miss Felice had to share a room, and I was like, "Where are you going, Miss Felice?" "Oh, I'm going outside. I saw some butterflies fly by my window." I was like, "What?" And then he was like, "I'm going outside. It's the season of ladybugs." I was like, "Okay." And then we'll be walking, and you'll be walking beside me, and you'll be gone. And you stopped, and I was like, "Where's she?" And you was looking at a plant, and you was so inspired by this flower. He was like, "I haven't seen this flower since I was in California." It's like, okay.
Dragon tongues.
That is absolutely true. But I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just had to get that.
I even have a plant from that trip, Asheville. I took some of the reeds.
Yes, I remember.
And they're like 6 foot tall now. Oh, yes, ma'am. I just, you know, art is beauty. Things that make you smile, things that make you happy. Color or not. You know. Childbirth is art to me.
know I'm all
And I have witnessed it 18 times with other women.
Yeah.
Art is subjective.
Yeah. I like that definition. So, what are some of your artistic abilities? Because I know, but we want the world to know. What are your artistic?
I don't
They
like
endless.
answering.
Look,
I
they
don't
endless.
like answering that question either. It makes me very uncomfortable.
Everything.
I'm just a busybody. I'll start it by that. A jack of all trades, master of none.
Like this piece behind us. Oh.
I've been writing since I was a child. I started playing my first instrument when I was 5 years old in
What was it?
kindergarten. It was an auto harp.
Oh, okay.
Auto harp. My
And see, I didn't
kindergarten
even know what it
teacher inspired the first want of instruments. I would watch her hands play, this land is your land, this land is my land, from California, those folk songs.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, I just would watch how she crossed her hands. And so recess would come and I'd want to stay in the room and I would play the songs by ear. I picked it out and she started letting me play the songs when it was music time. I was the instrumentalist. And then I went to violin, and then I went to flute, and then I went to piano, and then I went to guitar, and I play a little bit of xylophone. I can play the bass a little bit. I did percussions for 14 years with my worship team and guitar and keys,
Ukulele.
About ukulele.
You told my daughter.
Tongue drum. I mean, the list is long with the things that I can play. I've been writing since childhood. I have books from my childhood that I was writing poetry and songs, and again, I would hide them. I wouldn't let anybody read them. I learned piano. I took lessons for about 3 weeks, and I didn't like the teacher because she would pat my hand with a kite stick, and I was so proud of one piece I was doing all fast, and she started popping my hand, and I grabbed the stick and I broke it, and I ran to my mother and I said, I won't ever touch the piano again if I have to take lessons from her.
Wow.
And my mother went and wrote the check and told her we won't need your services anymore. So from that point on, I taught myself everything I know on keys. But I did have some formal basics on it. But I'm like that with most everything I play. If I see something I want to play, I'll purchase it, or my husband will purchase it, and I learn how to play it. So I just...
Wow. And then the art, the drawing.
And I love to paint. I actually started digital art first. Okay. Here. My niece had moved in with us for a little season, and her and her daughters did digital art, and they got me started doing digital art, and I liked it because there was no mess.
Okay.
You just have to learn the tools to get something like this from a digital program. So I did that for a while. I joined the art league. Then they asked me to be on their board, and things just started taking off artistically here for me.
There you act.
And I forget about stuff. I do too much. It's overkill. I do too much. I'm a busybody. Yes, I was just telling my grandbabies, they don't know, but I had on a smokestack sweatshirt today, and it has all my buttons on it. And my granddaughter was playing with the buttons, and she would point to it, and I would tell her what that button was. It's from all the shows that I've been in. And I've got a substantial number now with Smokestack.
What was the first one we did?
12 Angry Men, done by 12 impassionate women. Yes. It was so good.
I was in that.
That kind of got the bug on me.
Yeah.
That is what started it.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we covered everything. I know we're missing something. You do something else. Why?
I sing.
Oh, yes.
I sing. And I don't know why people want to hear me sing, because when I hear my voice, I'm just like, oh my goodness. But I know I'm good at harmonizing. Yeah. When I lead sing, I don't understand why people like that. But I love to sing harmony with any and everybody. It's what I've done for years. And by the way, I have a gig at Culture Sunday, 3 to
Okay,
5 p.
plug.
3 to 5 p.m. at Culture Restaurant.
It won't air yet.
That's
You have to
okay.
cut that out.
You'll
Yeah.
know. They'll know that I
Get
did
it.
play.
So,
But,
okay, go ahead.
you know, just trying to get people here to know me also
Yeah.
as the singer-songwriter. I'm just stepping into that here. Because everybody sees me, I'm the rock lady. I'm
Right.
the art lady, you know. But I would like them to know that's the deepest side of me, my singing and songwriting.
Why is it important to showcase and invest in art in a community?
Because art is life.
Yeah.
Art is life. I mean, like I said earlier, everything has some kind of art value in my brain. Everything we look at, from human beings to nature, the sky, the star, the moon, the sun, everything is just beautiful artwork. And I think that it's healthy. I know that, I won't say I think, I know that art is healthy for you. Viewing it, just viewing it, and doing it. Either or both is good for you. It's good for a community to have art around because it makes you happy.
Right.
You know, like finding that rock, a little ladybug.
Yeah.
It made me happy. So to have art around and accessible for people, I think it's important to have a healthy community.
Yeah. So tell us, because we were talking about River District Association, and how can art become that financial stability? Because I think people say, oh, that's just something I do in my spare time. But you can take that gift and be financially stable and be okay.
Yeah.
So tell us how to be engulfed in making it a business, because I don't think people understand that.
But just like any business, it takes work.
Yeah.
You're not going to just like wake up today, tomorrow, and say, oh, I'm going to go make money doing art.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen like that.
But a lot of people
You know,
think it do.
That's what I'm saying. It takes a lot of work. I've been pounding the pavement in this city. 2016 is when I found that rock, and I've been consistent trying to push this art on people, not for any benefit for myself, because I know the benefit it gives me. But it's to give you a benefit, to give the other person who's learning that they do have some artistic ability to do this. You know, it's a good thing. And it's why I'm just always kind of pushy with doing these things and trying to get people involved in it, because I know the mental benefits it has. And if a community is mentally stable, having things like art and music, things to go partake of, you know, it just makes for a healthier community, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I look at Love, because I'm wearing that hoodie today to represent art, and they have a whole business. You know, I look at Smokestack. They have a whole theater company, you know, and the list can go on and on and on. But a lot of times,
It takes work.
it takes work, and a lot of artists been in this position. They want to do their art, and they want to make money with their art, whatever that skill set is, but they don't want to do the business side of it.
Yeah, because it's hard, you know, it's scary.
Yeah.
People don't, you know, when you think about taxes and invoicing and all that stuff, that can be scary and intimidating, but it's no different from what you do for your personal life.
Right.
You know, it's just handling some paperwork once or twice a year that has to go be reported. But I think that making art a financial benefit to yourself, it really takes dedication and being persistent and being demanding, you know, and being sure of yourself, because you can't make money if you kind of iffy with something. I've just been pushing doors open. If the door kind of cracked, I'm pushing it open and I'm going in and starting making Danville smile. I didn't start it to be a business, but it's turned into that because I do classes for other people, and I do staff facilitations, and I, go do art classes with the seniors at our senior facilities here and sing for them and all those things. And those are different ways that I can make money in doing what I do. But everybody's not that driven.
Right.
I think because I'm from somewhere else and I wanted to be a part of Danville,
Gotcha.
it made me a little more driven.
Yeah.
In this to get people to accept what I do.
So do you think Danville and this region is making leadway when it comes to art?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
for sure, in a big way.
Yeah.
We have groups that are really starting a network like We Create.
Yeah.
I love our group We Create because it's everybody.
Right.
Who knows about it. It's everybody who knows about it, and we all are sharing what we do.
Yeah.
And so that each one of us, if you want to go to that person's, you can go partake of that because now you know about it.
Right.
And we can support each other and network with each other a lot easier through that group. And I hope that other groups like We Create pop up.
Right.
And I'm really praying about starting another art league that'll be all inclusive,
Right.
age-wise, race-wise.
Right.
Don't matter the background, but a little more inclusive.
And that leads to my next question. How can we get more Black, Indigenous people of color, BIPOC communities involved with art, especially in this region?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know been in this job and I talk to a lot of the guys that are photographers because that's the growing thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, well, I don't know about it. How do we spread the news or pass out the information or create resources that more people of color can get involved in this whole art business?
The first thing I would say to that is that artists of color need to come out of their boxes, step out of the box.
I like it.
Don't doubt your skill. Be brave. Because I feel like a lot of times I'm begging artists to show.
Yeah.
Because they're scared. Well, I know that feeling because I was the same way. Before I joined the art league, I told you I would hide stuff. I didn't let people see it because I didn't think it was good enough to show anybody. It made me happy, but I didn't think anybody else was there. Look at my stuff, it's crazy. Yeah. But I saw the more I stepped out of my box and started sharing some of my skill, no matter how elementary it was, because I look back at my early posts, I can't believe some of the stuff I posted, but it helped me see the growth that I've made as an artist, And so I think the first thing with artists of color, they need to trust their skill, be bold, have some courage. And when somebody asks you to do something artistically, take a chance and do it.
Yeah.
I'm constantly posting things, opportunities for artists, and so few take advantage of the opportunities that I post. And that makes me sad. But I see that the more like our group We Create, the more we share these opportunities. Like Kelly Cunningham is a big one on sharing opportunities for artists in all different realms. Right. We share these opportunities, grant opportunities, and to go do a fellowship somewhere, or you post these opportunities, and very few partake of it. And so, but I'm seeing more people are realizing, hey, I can do this. Like we just had an art crawl in the Old West End, and I saw more artists come out for that. It's just being able to find them, get them out of the closets, get them to step out of the box and trust their skill.
You talked about it earlier about diversity and inclusion. Also, we talk about shared space. why is it, or do you feel, let's go back, this region struggle with sharing space when it comes to the arts? Because you come from California, so you do see another look of it, another side of it. Because you talked about playing in different bands, different types of music, from folk to R&B to jazz. And you come here and you was like,
grungy Christian rock. I done done it all.
I don't even know what it is. Do you see a struggle with sharing space? Or like, it just feel like everybody has to be one?
No, because I think artists look at some opportunities wrong, like it's a competition, and it's not.
Say more.
And so I paint, and if I meet a painter, instead of feeling intimidated by that painter, because you may think, oh, that's so fascinating, and you don't say anything about mine, that should not hurt me. I should be celebrating this painter who's getting the accolades. But I think that a lot of times people want to compete instead of collaborate, instead of networking, instead of encouraging, instead of yaying and boosting each other. We try to tear each other down, and that's something that really needs to stop. We need to just come together. That's why I love this group that we've created, because I'm seeing a little bit of that fade away.
And I think a lot of it, for me, what I've seen since I've been in this position, is because a lot of it is new. Mm-hmm. So I was the first. And a lot of times being the first, because I've even felt like that myself about certain things. Being the first, you feel like you should be the only. Mm-hmm. So I can see why it exists, and I think a lot of it just comes down to it being new. Mm-hmm. But when we have people like you, who's like, I'm going to be over here, I'm going to be over here, mm-hmm. I'm going to be everywhere. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to box me.
That's right.
And I think once we see more people like you, then more people get on that bandwagon.
Mm-hmm. And see that, and that's the key right there. When I say step out of your box, and Danville has the dynamic that so many people, y'all grew up together. Mm-hmm. So you have these stigmas from childhood and high schoolhood, issues you had. Oh, I didn't like her in high school, so I ain't gonna like what she do now. Gotcha. Even though you grown women or you grown men, you know, and everybody's trying to make their way. I see these little things, or a family name, you know, these dynamics here. I didn't have to deal with things like that in other places that I've been, right? And so I think that that's a thing that holds a lot of people here back. Their past knowledge of a person or a group, they don't give them the chance, a second chance, you know? And I think that everybody deserves a second chance. You know, like if you did something in high school that may have caused people to say, oh, I don't want to be around Sean, but you are living your best life right now and you're doing for people. Those people should say, that was the past.
Yeah.
This is the now. Look, celebrate the now.
Yeah,
celebrate the now.
Because we have those uncomfortable conversations, but we really have them in a real intellectual way that we can say what we say and it gets a different light. Mm-hmm. That's what we're trying to say. Mm-hmm. And versus water cooler talk. It is important for people to know that this city is moving. Mm-hmm. This city is growing.
It is.
This city is being put on the map, and our name is being said in spaces and places that we probably don't even know exist.
Absolutely is.
So let's get what we need. Let's do what we need to do to start thriving internally before externally takes over.
And that means coming together.
And I like how you said
that means just getting along.
Yeah.
That means supporting a person who does the same exact thing you do. I'm not the only person who teaches art to the community here, but I have many other supporters of people who teach art to the community here. Gotcha. I don't feel like I'm in any competition because I go everywhere. Yeah. Because I'm not locking myself to any one group. Yeah. You know? Because I'm not afraid to sit in any circle. I'm not afraid to go in any circle. And I think we all need to have that, that boldness to sit in any circle, to share with any circle, and to receive from any circle.
You want to teach a class on how to do that. Another stream of income. Talking about income, how did you build your customer base? Because I know you're all about that grind, but what does that foundation work look like to build that customer base?
I joined groups that was beneficial for me. Like I'm a part of the nonprofit network. Even though I'm not an official nonprofit, I'm not for profit.
Right.
But I joined different groups and organizations.
Yeah.
And I've gone through different fellowships, which created that network and circle again. That allows me to have those doors open.
Yeah.
The different groups that I've involved myself with are the different yeses I give. Like to work with RDA.
Yeah.
Working with RDA open up other doors for me. Be an ambassador, open up other doors for me. Running Making Danville Smile, teaching the community, open other doors for me. So I not just want to do the same thing for other people. That's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Encourage the artists that I see, step out your box, come show.
Yeah.
Get in one of the shows I do and show your work.
So how do people tap into their artistic side that makes them want to take the stuff out the piano chair, display it, or do the artwork? And because you inspire people, because I know you inspired somebody. I was standing around, they was like, I have this piece. He's like, oh, bring it. Let me see it.
And she's such a freak.
Let me see it. So how do people tap into that artistic side? Because I want to play the bass guitar.
Yeah, the first thing I just say, do it.
But I don't even
When
know
you
which one is the bass
when you
guitar
say
when I go
you
to
want to
the
do something or you want to try it, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I want to try to jump out of a plane and sit on your couch. That ain't going to happen. You got to get in the airplane, go up in the sky, and literally jump out of it. Okay?
Where you
So
shoot people.
the first thing I tell people who want to, tap into some artistic ability is pick up a piece of paper and a pencil and start drawing. Or buy your canvas and some paints and start painting. Or install a digital program and start playing around with it and see what happens. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
Throw some paint on the canvas to see what happens. It excites me to just throw some paint on there and see what happens. And that's the best way I can. That's how you hone into. You just have to do it. You just have to try. I've taught many, many people how to play guitar, many, many people how to play keys, and the first step is getting the instrument and actually touching it and trying to do it. It's not going to happen if you don't try.
You gonna teach me how to play the bass guitar?
I can help you.
Okay. How do people advocate for art in their community? How can people say we want more art to be on display in our community? Because I'm for having a piano on the street, that somebody can walk up randomly.
Yeah, we had several of them around town before COVID, but then, they get weathered out and you have to get people to donate more. So get RDA to start that piano donation again. Yeah. But I think that we just need to encourage people to do those things that make them happy artistically, and not be afraid.
Yeah.
Because art is kind of scary, to show. Or even when people come to see art, I feel like a lot of people that come to the exhibitions that we host are scared to really look at the art. They walk by so fast. You can't look at something so quick. You have to examine it. And then when they look, they don't really know what they're looking for. And a lot of times I love opening people's brains to different ways of viewing art. Look at the shadowing, look at the colors, why is this horse got purple in it when, horses are brown, black, or white? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Different choices like that to just open your artistic horizons. I try to do that with people.
Yeah. What got me interested in art is one of my favorite episodes on the Cosby Show. Is when they was trying to buy an art piece that belonged to Claire's grandma.
And they bidding against them.
Yeah.
She's on.
So that's one of my favorite episodes, and it was just the legacy of the art piece. And I have a replica of that piece in my house.
So does my sister.
Yeah. Tell us, being Black and female, because we want to touch on that a little bit. A lot of time, our spaces aren't diverse. How do you navigate in those spaces?
How have I navigated in those spaces?
How do
Because
you
I
be the
navigate
unicorn?
in those spaces.
Yeah.
I kick the door down.
Okay.
I'm just like what I say, I'm not afraid to go in circles that people normally wouldn't feel comfortable going in.
Right.
I started just as an artist trying to get them to accept digital art because everybody was painters, oils and acrylics and water. And no, I'm a digital artist and I want my category in your. So for the first 3 years, I was begging. I started a page, Danville Digital Artists, so I can pull digital artists into this league. And it was able to get photographers and digital artists to add more categories to this league when we have exhibitions. And it has opened doors for other, with people of color. The league is getting more diverse, and I'm very, very proud of that. But I think it's just because I've been persistent in trying to get people to participate that normally wouldn't, you know, because they don't feel so welcome.
Yeah.
You know, you got to feel welcome to a group, and I think me being there welcomes people who have not normally felt welcome.
I like it. How can we get more art in education?
And I want that too.
I know you do, because your kids are so artistic.
All my kids, all my grandkids, they got the Felice book.
And it shows the importance, because it even hypes their intellect.
Oh,
Yeah, they are extremely smart people.
Yeah.
So how do you feel we can push and advocate for more art in the school system?
You know, I'm trying to figure that out myself. You know, because you know schools afford what they can afford,
Right.
and they have their list of academics that have to be taught. And then things that are typically electives like music and art. But I think that music and art should never be in an elective category, because then we squash natural abilities of human beings. That if you allow a child to use their artistic ability in school, they might do that academic a lot better, because they're able to get this expression out. You know, and when that's squashed, kids revert.
Yeah.
Adults,
Right.
you know, you don't know how to be yourself when you're not allowed that. So I mean, across the nation, across the world, you know, these things have become like not important.
Right.
When it should be at the top of importance to allow a human being their natural creative abilities.
Right.
Just let them. We don't know. And I love being that person to spark it. You know, many people come to my table and say, oh, I don't have any, come to my classes, oh, I don't have any artistic ability, and leave with the most rocks or leave with the prettiest canvas, you know. And then they want to come back or ask me, how do I do this or that? What do I need to do this or that?
Yeah. Working at the Boys and Girls Club, I mean, kids will be so fascinated when you come. And I know when we did the Moana project and how we did glow in the dark rocks, but we talked about the meaning of it.
I just found one of those, the harder to feed.
Yeah. And they started getting into culture, and then we got into history. And so it leads into so many different aspects, and that's why I feel like it is so important. So I think for me, one of the quickest ways is to collaborate with these after-school programs or youth programs to get that art and music and athletics involved in that until we have the budget, the time, the energy invested in the school system. Because I think it's important. It's got to be important.
it's good that we have groups like Making Danville Smile, Smokestack Theater, because they are big. The Danville Museum also they do camps for kids to come, do art camps, do acting camps, to come and do classes with me of all different kind of mediums, And like I said, there's other groups and people who are doing these things as well. I'm not the only one, but those things are important for our kids, that they can get some kind of artistic education that they can't get in the school. I think that's going to need a lot of prayer and people really seeing that it is a necessity.
Right. Not an elective.
Not an elective. It's a necessity, because I have my grandbaby, the youngest one, 10-month-old, is showing artistic ability, trying to sing. And singing, not just literally mimicking songs really well. And I'm just like so excited. These kind of things. And so you send them to a school and they never get that chance to do those things, that squashes it.
Yeah.
Then they lose it.
So reverse it. How can we get more youth excited about art?
Getting them exposed to it more. Exposure. Telling the mamas and the daddies to take them to these free things around town. I'm not the only free thing. If you can't afford it, take your kid to an art class. The Main Street Art Collector, they do classes all the time. Go learn something. Go sit together as a family and have fun creating something from nothing. It's a wonderful thing.
How can you get more community people involved in the arts?
Begging. begging, please get involved. No, I'm constantly begging people. I got to go out tomorrow asking people to donate to something, But just asking people to step out of their comfort zone and be involved with some organization that's doing something artistically for this city, be bold.
You talked about the board that you sit on with Danville Art League. What are some of the other boards that you sit on or organizations that you're involved with that centers around art? You talked about We Create.
Mm-hmm. We Create. I'm a writer. I didn't say that. I write for the In-House magazine as well. Through the Fashion House. I'm one of the writers for In-House. I just recently joined the DRF's Community Council, which will be working with arts and culture. I'm on the master planning committee with the city for arts and culture. I am the exhibition chair for the Danville Art League, and I'm owner and operator of Making Danville Smile. I work with Smokestack Theater Company. I do a lot. Yeah. I'm involved with a lot of organizations as well, artistically. Part of the nonprofit, the nonprofit network, which always is boosting arts and culture.
And that branches all the way out to Pennsylvania County and Caswell.
And so many, many groups stay involved in that are doing good things for us by way of arts and culture.
We talked a little bit about it, but tell me about your thoughts around the economic advancements that's being made in Danville and this region, and how can we start making sure that art is included in all of those action plans and, consultants? How can we make sure art is important?
It's just like, the casino being built and the water park, our park, the riverfront park being built, the mill being renovated, all these things. I'm hoping that all the things new, because Danville is an historic city. We have so many historic buildings and homes and business in our business district and all of that. But again, coming from somewhere else, I love the historic value we have, but we need to have these few new things, which give something new to look at, and hopefully they'll all take into fact that we need them to have a lot of art.
Yeah.
Art galleries inside, art everywhere to see. Inside, outside, we're currently talking with the master planning committee about murals around town so that people, and I know the RDA, River District Association, puts sidewalk art when it rains, rain art. These things are so fun, and it makes people excited to get out of their house and go see something. Right. Whenever I go to another city, the first thing I Google is art museums. It's the first thing I Google. Art galleries, I want to see the list of their galleries and which one I want to go partake of. If they have beautiful trails to go on. My husband loves nature. We, partake of that. These things are just important for the community to have it. And Danville is on the move. I hope that we have every blank wall with some color on it.
Because I even talked to some of the artists about putting their art pieces in their restaurants when they open up, or even any business when they open up. They look for art. They look for pieces to put on their wall. Mm-hmm. That could be local art.
Yes.
And I mean, they say yes. I know Temptations have local art on her wall.
That's my art.
Yeah. Culture has art on their wall.
They'll be having this. Yeah. I'll be taking that.
It's important. Like those little simple, minute things. Imagine if we have local artists, art pieces in the casino.
Yeah, and this is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
I've already claimed it. One of my pieces will be in that, at least one. It's going to be somewhere prominent in that casino.
I love it.
It's going to be there. It's done already. Somebody, and they going to ask me. I'm not going to ask them. They're going to ask me.
To tell somebody. And I don't know who that person is, but it's out there.
So I had to put that out there. But I'm just saying, now, in 2017, I wouldn't have been bold enough to say that.
Oh, okay.
Because I was still trying to find myself in this realm.
Yeah.
Because I was the singer-songwriter in California.
And an accountant. I just can't get over that.
Girl, I could tear up a 10 key. And typing, I could tear it up. But I just think, the comfort zone thing I have to keep coming back to.
Yeah.
When people step out of their comfort zone and see it's not as scary as you think to try to do some art. You don't have to try to be a fine artist to try to be a Picasso or somebody immediately. You may be a crafter and do crafts really well. That's an artistic outlet. Yeah. You may like adult coloring books and you color yours beautiful. That's still art, People put these things down, but that is an artistic outlet. And I try to encourage all of that, any kind of art. Do it and be blessed by it mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. It helps all of that.
And leads into my next question. How does art correlate to self-care? You answered it.
Mm-hmm. You want to add it's my sanity.
Ooh, see, I'm glad I asked it anyway.
Art and music is my sanity. I've started doing essential oils like 6 years ago.
You gave me some oils one time. I need some more, but yeah.
I weaned myself from all pharmaceuticals, and I only use essential oils, right? So my medication is essential oils, painting, and playing music.
Yeah.
That's my medication. If I'm stressed, I pick up a paintbrush and I start painting, or I'm dotting. I try to do something that's therapeutic. I teach therapeutic art practices as well. Okay. I'm not a therapist, but I can art coach. Okay, yeah. So some of the types of art I teach is therapeutic art, like when I do the dotting, the mandalas, or when I do neurographic art. Those type of practices take you into a meditative state because you get in the zone of counting, and before you know it, you're calm.
Wow.
You know, so these I always try to boost those type of things that'll help you with your stress levels, because if you're not stressed, all the rest of your body functions better.
Okay. So that right there was deep because I know I need it. That's perfect timing. How do you manage art, work, grandma, wife? What does that balance look like for you?
Number crazy. You need to ask Charles McWilliams that question.
No, I can't ask.
My husband be saying, if he was in the room, he'd be like, she crazy. Woo! If I showed you my calendar, you would be like, I mean, so it's very rare that I have a day in any month that doesn't have anything on it.
Wow.
And people, so many people will say to me, Felice, you do too much. You need to learn how to say no. You need to slow down. But no, I don't. Mm-hmm. Because this is me. And like I said, I wean myself from medications that I won't go into, but I have issues. Mm-hmm. Physical, mental, emotional. And so I know the things that keep me balanced. And busyness is one of them. If I just sit and I'm not a just sit and watch TV person. Yeah. I'm not that person. I have to be actively involved in something. Encouraging somebody, teaching, playing, doing something, you know, because I don't like idleness.
And it's rare. You're a unicorn. And I know you're happy with that title. Because you was doing To Kill a Mockingbird. And I thought, okay, maybe she just got a few lines because you was doing like 10 other things also. And I was like, how did she learn lines? Like, what do you study? Like, how?
Laying in the bed at night, just like for this film that I'm in. Yeah, just at night before I go to bed, I'm, reviewing my scripts. To Kill a Mockingbird, I was going into The Color Purple.
Yeah, that's
so I was balancing.
Yeah.
Right at the end of that, I was starting The Color Purple. But it's God. That's all I can say, because I didn't study to do these things. Yeah. I have just honestly asked God to use me with the gifts He gave me.
A 5-year-old girl.
And that's how I manage being Charles's wife, being mother to my sons, and grandmother, because those are also gifts I have. Being his wife, being the mother, being the grandmother. I'm such a mommy. I really am. With me know that side of me. I'm very much a nurturer. I have to feed everybody. I want to, make sure you are good. If you at my house, you got everything you need.
The cat.
My cat. I'm a cat lady. I got 2 of them, a boy and a girl. I love my animals. I mean, it takes a lot of balancing, but it's just because I only do the stuff that I can do.
Gotcha.
I don't try to do stuff that I can't do well. If you ask me to do something that I've never done, and I'm going to be, I'm going to say, let's find somebody else. I'm going to help you find the person that can do that instead of me, because I could ask to do a lot of things, and some things I have to say no, because that's not in my wheelhouse. Right. It's not what I prayed for. Right. So I'm trying to do the things that I've prayed for, and the things that I ask God, open these doors. That's why I say when a door cracks, boom, I'm kicking it open, because I know where it came from.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. What do you see? We're redeveloping North Main, the business district. What do you see as far as possibilities there?
Oh my God.
I know. Just tell us
we have some walls around here that I really want the mural. So the murals that we have, I would really like them touched up. Mm-hmm. So they're bright. Mm-hmm. And eye-catching again, because the murals that are up, they're historic value. But in the spaces where we don't, I'm looking for beautiful color of all different kind, you know, abstracts, people, places, depictions of Danville, favorite places, you know, all those things around this city. I am so excited about it. I don't know what to do. I'm just like, I'm, just waiting for a plan to come out. We're waiting for several plans in this city. And it's just like waiting for the meal.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry for it. I wanna take a bite already, but trying to be patient.
Yeah.
I think the next 5 years here is gonna be very interesting artistically. I think a few more artists will step out of their box and get the accolades they deserve and get involved in the things they need to be involved in and show their work. Show your work. I don't do this for pay, but getting something purchased is such a bonus. It's such a bonus. So but the only way you're going to know if that's going to happen is to step out of your shell. You have to come out of your house, take some artwork with you, and display it somewhere. It's the only way you're going to know if somebody else is going to like it so much that they want to purchase it.
You talked about in the next 5 years, so tell us, what is next for Miss Felice?
Next. It's a lot of nexts. But I'm currently my next is I'm currently working with a woman. Her name is Carolyn Mack, and she's a writer, director, and producer, and she's working on a short film series. And I will be playing one of the lead roles as the grandmother in this movie, Leaving Home, that will eventually be turned into a feature film. Yeah, so that's what I'm currently working on in my acting life. I do have plans to audition for something with Smokestack next year. I'm not sure which play yet, but I will try to do at least one or two with them next year.
You should write a play for Smokestack.
Well, I have a play. I have something. It's so funny that you would say that. I do have a story that I really, really would like somebody to turn into a play or a movie. My son wrote a book, and Danville is the perfect place for his book.
Gotcha.
My son is an artist. He's an animator. He teaches here in Danville, teaches art. But his book is 100 years from now, our bones will be different. Ooh. And he animated, he did all the artwork in the book. It's a family that spans over 100 years with each person's story. 40 members of this family. And so 40 portraits, and it's all done in sepia tone, which is one using one color, which is a very hard art practice to do you with one color. Wow. So he has all these portraits in one color, but the story of it would fit the city so perfectly.
That's the plug.
Mm-hmm.
How are you passing the baton? I know you opening up doors, but how are you intentionally, you talked about with your sons, but how are you intentionally saying this is for the next generation?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like with my grandbabies, they have and are learning all things art. My house is like a music store of every type of instrument, so they all can have their choice of whatever they want to play. And not just my grandchildren, but children in my neighborhood, in my community, people who have come to my classes. I try to encourage the learning of art and music because it's only going to benefit them. And it's something I want to keep doing here, especially.
What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Legacy. I don't know. But I think a legacy, I think of my father. My my father's legacy. My father always told everybody everywhere he went, and he would always give away ink pens or flashlights, and he'd have his name and his phone number and his address. I'm like, Daddy, you giving perfect strangers all your information, but up under all that information would be God is good to William and 1 John 4, 7, and 8, right? Beloved, let us love one another, right? I want something like that. That, you know, my legacy, I want people to remember that God was good to me. And that I appreciated that, you know, because I know, like I said earlier, that's where all this comes from.
Wow.
It's where it all comes from.
So, last question. What is your favorite mantra, quote, or scripture?
I thought about this. I have a couple, but this one that I see every time I walk into the building at my church. That even before I went there is what my life is. That's how I was raised. To love God, love people, prove it.
Ooh.
You know, people will say, oh, I love God, and then hate their neighbor. Yeah. Won't go talk to their neighbor. Oh, I love people, but they don't prove it. They just sit at home and complain. You know, it takes some action. If you loving God, you got to prove it. How do I prove it? Through people. Yeah. So I love God, I love people, and I try to prove it with all the things that I do for my family, for my community, in my job, my church, everywhere. I want to love God. I want people to remember she did love God. She loved people, and she dang tried to prove it.
Y'all heard it. Miss Felice McWilliams. If you had any questions about art, you know it's been answered. If you want to contact Miss Felice, what's the name of your Facebook pages? We want to get all of that out there.
You can find me at The Art of Felice on Facebook, at Making Danville Smile on Facebook, at Danville Digital Artists on Facebook, or just Felice McWilliams on Facebook. I'm also one of your city ambassadors of the city of Danville with Plan Danville on Facebook. So all those ways. I also moderate our Danville Art League page as well. So many ways to get in touch with me.
Thank you, Miss Felice. And thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you've been inspired. And at the end of the day, prove it.